down at Hamble Point Marina with Marco Marine testing the new Sargo 28. The Sargo 28, the original Sargo 28 has been around for a few years, but this is the new model, slightly longer, 40 centimeters longer in length and fractionally wider in beam, and the hull's a little bit sharper. The transom dead rise has gone from 20 to 21 degrees. So let's take a step on board and take a look at this new boat. It's a typical all-weather Scandinavian boat, built with wide side decks, tall guardrails, high bulwarks, and of course the obligatory side opening doors both on the port and the starboard side. The new Sargo 28 has a larger side opening doors. The previous ones are a bit on the small side, and well, they certainly make life a lot easier getting in and out of the boat. Okay, well, the fit and finish is just typically Sargo, typically Scandinavian, very high quality. What stands out, lovely suede upholstery, superbly stitched. Seats are very comfortable. They've got a flip-up bolster, both for the helmsman and the navigator, so you can stand should you wish. Alternatively, you've got this perfect footboard, and you can either sit higher if you should feel the need to, or sit normally. Yeah, it works quite well. Ergonomics are pretty good. Everything's easily seen, easily accessed. Traditional Scandinavian style galley up arrangement that many boats like this favour. Twin hob, stainless steel sink, some very nice storage, including this pull-out bin here. Cupboard, cutlery drawer, bits and pieces. Everything opens and closes with precision. All the catches are just spot on. Teak joinery is of the highest standard. Typical of many Scandinavian boats of this design, and that is that they spread the kitchen features around the wheelhouse. Notably, the fridge under the navigator's seat and under the helmsman's seat are two very neat, in fact very nice, pull-out teak drawers which house the bespoke crockery and cutlery set. This particular boat, the owner, the person who's bought it, specified a microwave underneath the saloon seating. Okay, the bonus of having a galley up design is you get a bit more space down in this fore cabin. You get a hanging locker there on the port side, and you get an extra storage cupboard here. And of course there will be storage underneath the bed. But if you had a galley down here, a small one, it would be small, ineffective, and you just simply wouldn't get this extra storage space for your clothes. Heads, starboard side, very nicely attired. Unfortunately, there's not quite enough headroom for a man of 6 foot to stand up in there. Okay, the mid cabin, it's hidden away under the seating on the port side. Lift up the seat like so. A gas strut will hold it up, and down you go. It does actually look a squeeze initially, but there is more room in here than I thought the boat would initially have. There is a double bed where my legs are. There is an infill that goes here that extends the bed all the way up to there. So yeah, 2 adults can just about sleep in here as long as they're not 6'6" tall. Okay, Sargo's take on the wheelhouse boat with a small saloon table is this. It works quite well. Obviously, table folds out, yeah, par for the course. That rotates out like so, and then you lock it down here with a rotary knob here on the leg. That's it. Okay, true to form of Sargo, there's plenty of storage for warps and fenders. Huge storage locker on the back of the wheelhouse. There's another smaller one here, self-draining of course. Another one on the starboard quarter, and They're very practical, very sensible. Fender cage on the transom. Well, now we're actually out on the water on the new Sargo 28. It's nice to come to grips with really how this boat has changed, how it has evolved from the previous boat. It is slightly longer than the previous Sargo 28. The hull is 40 centimetres longer, it's fractionally wider on the beam, and the transom dead rise angle has sharpened from 20 to 21 degrees. So let's see how this actually manifests in driving. Well, she's got the Minty Marine trim tab system, which is basically tabbing the bow down, getting us up on the plane. We're running now at a very steady 26 knots. It's a very comfortable cruising speed. Obviously, we're in very flat water, but we were out on something a little bit choppy a moment ago, and this boat does cut a very sharp, sure-footed path. Okay, let's drop her down to what will be slow cruising speed. We're running at 20 knots now, 21 knots at 2,700 RPM. This is a very sedate cruising speed that you would sit at. The sea was particularly testing, or you just simply wanted to pass the way of the day at a much more casual pace. But this boat is capable of a lot more than just that. We've now got a bit of ferry chop to run through. 32 knots or so. At about 3,300 RPM. For a wheelhouse boat, she is not too bad when it comes to blind spots. She obviously heels quite a bit on the turns, so you need to take a damn good look before you turn the wheel. Well, she just tracks round at the moment. We're just doing full lot 26 knots. Into a bit of chop, and then bank onto the other side. And then back to that very laid back, so 24, 25 knots. And this is the sort of speed you're going to get a good fuel return from the 340 horsepower Volvo D6 driving through a DPI stern drive. What's my take on the new Sargo 28? Well, like many boat builders, they're taking something that's already proven and they're making it better. And they've done a good job with this boat. Like some of its contemporaries, you wouldn't think this is a 28-foot boat. You'd think it's a 31-foot boat or maybe a 32-foot boat. It's really got that feel to it. Drives very well. She's a 32-knot boat with a 340 horsepower D6 with a DPI drive. Okay, this boat comes with a selection of engine options, starting with the D4 270, and that boat retails at around £210,000, including VAT. This particular boat has the D6 340, and that retails for £256,000, including VAT. There are other options, namely the D6 380, D6 400, and D6 440. The D6 440 gives this boat an impressive 45 knot top speed. Obviously, there is a cost. However, personally, I think it's probably worth it. These boats do drive very well, and their extra bit of horsepower would complement the hull perfectly.